How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and today I'm going to be doing another set of horror movies to either watch or avoid. This time I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, fair selection here. Some stuff you've probably never heard of, and there's a couple of kind of classics in here as well that we just kind of recently picked up and watched again. So yeah, stick around and find out what I think of these things. Alright, first off the top, there's a new one. Got from my local Deja Vu disc shop. It's used CDs and DVDs and games and stuff like that. This is called Kill for Me. Now, if you haven't seen Kill for Me before, basically it's your typical kind of girl breaks up with guy, decides that they're into chicks, and the chick turns out to be a fucking nutcase scenario. I'm just going to read you the back quickly. While trying to move on from an abusive ex-boyfriend, Amanda looks for a roommate to help pay for the rent. Haley just moved to college to get away from her abusive past. Now roommates, both girls find comfort in their friendship and make a pact to help each other overcome their pasts, no matter what the costs. When Amanda's abusive ex-boyfriend catches up with her, a riveting roller coaster of suspense and twists is set into motion. In order to survive, the two girls face their harrowing pasts together, but as Haley's past becomes more transparent, it's difficult to decipher who is the victim and who is the cold-blooded killer. So yeah, there's that. Basically, chick on the right falls for chick on the left, or vice versa, depending on how you're looking at this. And she claims that her dad's like super duper abusive and killed her mother, so they need to hatch up a plan to get even with him. And spoiler alert, this chick is fucking nuts and ends up killing her abusive ex-boyfriend because there's a struggle and it gets a little serious, and she just like bonk, knocks him in the back of the head with an axe. Yeah, it's actually really good. I actually really enjoyed this film. There's some twists in there that you may or may not be able to guess, but I kind of was able to guess it. But even though you can guess what the twist is, I think it was still pretty good. I don't know if I showed you the back there or not, but there's not really much to see. Yeah, not to mention there's a hot Mako scene and a shower scene, so if you're into that kind of stuff in your horror movies, definitely check this out. I'm definitely glad we got it. I'm going to give it a score of an 8 out of 10. Considering that we had no idea what this movie was going to be like, and it's just kind of a random pickup based on the title and the synopsis on the back. Check it out. I think you'll like it. It's called Kill for Me with Katie Cassidy and Tracy Spiridakos. I can't pronounce worse shit. So yeah. Next one is one that you've all probably seen before, and it's a classic. This is The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis and Hayden something. At least I think his name is Hayden. God damn it. Oh no, Haley. Haley Joel Osment. That's the kid. I see dead people. Yep, it's that one. Now this is one of those movies that if you know the ending, it kind of spoils the rewatchability for it. But there's some scenes in here that are still kind of creepy. There's some interesting parts here and there. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of one of those things that's better if you're younger and not so haven't been so exposed to all the horror movies yet, or thrillers or whatever. And it's definitely best the first time you watch it. Make sure when you first watch it, you pay attention the first time, because if you don't and you rewatch it and you've seen the ending, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. If you haven't seen this movie, basically, without spoiling it, Bruce Willis is a doctor a therapist who tries to like give therapy to this kid who's having problems, and he's getting stressed out, and his mom's kind of worried about him, and he's trying to help out the kid. The kid doesn't really reveal to him right away what his problem is, but then eventually he's like, I see dead people, and he's like, everywhere, walking around me, even right now, and Bruce Willis is like, oh shit, okay. At first he doesn't believe him, and then he eventually does believe him, and he starts trying to figure out how to help him with that, but then along the way he discovers something very integral to the story about himself, and then you can probably guess what happens after that, but yeah, it's an alright story. It's a little cheesy for sure, but it's definitely a classic. It's something pretty much everyone in their 20s has seen in high school. I would give it probably a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, just because I don't mind Bruce Willis. The story's very kind of nostalgic for me, because I remember seeing this when I was younger and thought it was really, really neat. Probably one of M. Night Shyamalan's better films. The Village was fucking terrible. I still have yet to see the 2 new ones that he's put out, that being Split and the other one. But yeah, if you haven't seen this before, check it out. It's a classic. It's kind of one of those must-see things if you're like a horror or thriller fan. And Bruce Willis kicks ass. I like his acting in pretty much anything he does. Haley Joel Osment kind of is meh as he gets older as an actor, but he was in AI as well as this, I believe, and he was in like a kind of a sex education comedy type of dealio movie, which was kind of amusing. But other than that, I don't think I remember him in anything remotely decent. But yeah. Sixth Sense, classic. Alright, next one up is a new film with Dane what's his name? Dane DeHaan. Now, Dane DeHaan has been in a few different films. If you've seen Metallica's Through the Never, he's the roadie that goes through that kind of adventure while Metallica's concert is going on. But he's also in this, A Cure for Wellness. He's kind of a doctor or a journalist. No, he's like a journalist. I'm going to read the back here for a second. An ambitious young executive sent to retrieve his company's CEO from a remote and mysterious wellness center. When he begins to unravel the retreat's terrifying secrets, his sanity is tested as he finds himself diagnosed with the same curious illness that keeps all of the guests there longing for the cure. So yeah, basically he's looking for the CEO of the company to try and bring him back so they can sell something or do something important in the business that I can't quite remember. While he's looking for his CEO, he kind of stumbles upon some sort of like mysterious event that's going on here, and there seems to be a bunch of odd things that are happening with all of the patients that are in this kind of wellness like fucking castle. It's a huge place. There's like experiments being done by the doctor, the head doctor in this, and all of the other like nurses and help are in on it, and it's a little fucked up. And then there's this kind of odd woman, I think she's probably 18 in this, at least the character's supposed to be 18, who's, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I'm just going to say it anyway, so sorry about this, but she's related to the main doctor in this, and yeah, if you're not a fan of incest stories and stuff that involve that, don't watch this. Or maybe you think it's funny, or maybe you think it's kind of like tongue-in-cheek and you don't care. But either way, this is actually a pretty good film. It sort of reminded me of that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called Shutter Island, I believe is the name of that, where he's that cop and it's kind of a weird play. Yeah. Anyways, really good film. Uh, some weird sequences in here that you're not sure really happen, or if it's in his head. There's some really, really cringy, not because they're bad, but because it's like, it's hard to watch. It's just like, torturous kind of events here that happen to the main guy. And if you're empathetic towards your fellow man at all, the shit that happens to Dane DeHaan in this is going to make you so pissed off and want to punch someone in the face so hard. The ending comes to a pretty good climax. There's a titty or two in this. There's a weird kind of German bar fight with him and the girl in this, because someone tries to dance with her and he thinks she doesn't want to be danced with, so he starts a fight and ends up getting his ass whooped, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, definitely check this out. It's a new kind of horror thriller film. I would say thriller, psychological thriller. And I don't think you'll be too disappointed. I think Dane DeHaan is an up-and-coming actor, really cool guy. I know the wife is trying to get a hold of a lot of the movies that he's involved in. I'm going to give this another 8 out of 10. Really good. Yeah. Check out A Cure for Wellness. Next is another Dane DeHaan film. This one's kind of documentary biography kind of thing of a real-life professor and his colleague in college. This is called Kill Your Darlings. Basically, it's like these two guys meet in college, and they're going through to be kind of like English professors and like poetry writers, and try to get like awards for being really good at like English and poetry and writing and stuff like that. They kind of feed off of each other's like intelligence and kind of proclivity towards the language, and doing a lot of drugs to help them think of good words and stuff that I'm clearly not capable of right now. Yeah. But there's also a lot of LGBT homoerotic undertones to this, because Daniel Radcliffe? Yeah. Harry Potter falls in love with Dane DeHaan, and it's kind of weird. Some kind of cringy scenes in it. Like, I'm from the LGBT community, and some of the scenes in here are just cringy to me. And then it's got the actor who plays Dexter in it, so Michael C. Hall's in it. And he's, I guess, an ex-lover of the Dane DeHaan character in this, and it's really weird. It's mostly not a horror movie or a thriller, but there's like a murder at the very end that they're kind of build up to the end of the movie, so I guess it's kind of like a biography slash kind of murder mystery, because you have to figure out how this person dies by watching the entire movie. They show like a quick scene at the beginning of Dane DeHaan holding Michael C. Hall and be like, no, kind of one of those scenes. But yeah, interesting. It's very interesting. I've seen better films, to be honest. It's also got Elizabeth Olsen in there, if you're a fan of that character. Elizabeth Olsen plays Scarlet Witch in the Marvel films now, so I'd give it a 5. I'd say it's an average for kind of your true story of obsession and murder. Like, that's what it says there. True story of obsession and murder. So give it a shot if you're a fan of Michael Hall or Dane DeHaan or Elizabeth Olsen. But other than that, it's kind of, well, it's like a TLDR type of film. It's like Too Long Don't Read, but it's alright if you got nothing else to watch and you're interested in those characters, or you're interested in poetry or stuff like that, I guess. Next. This one was really good. Now, I don't know if you guys watch any of the animated Resident Evil films. This is the latest one that they've come up with. I believe their third one. I think they've got only 2 others before this. If not, let me know. This could be the fourth one, but for now I'm going to say it's the third. This is Resident Evil Vendetta. It's pretty good. It's got, you know, Leon in it. It's got Chris Redfield in it. Basically just a new deadly virus gets unleashed and they have to figure out a way to stop it. That badass motherfucker's in it and they have to stop him. There's some kind of really cool fight scenes. How Chris Redfield and Leon Walker take out these zombies. Yeah. Basically your typical fight through a bunch of zombies to stop the giant mega boss and stop the new virus kind of film. You can pretty much turn your brain off and watch it. It's neat. I like it for what it is. I'd get a 7 out of 10 for an animated kind of horror film. But yeah, Resident Evil Vendetta. Alright, up next is kind of something we just kind of gambled on when we went to Walmart. We were just like, sure, that's cheap, let's get that. This is called Don't Knock Twice. I'm trying to think of what this was like. It says, so goes a disturbing urban legend involving an abandoned house supposedly inhabited by a vengeful child-stealing witch. When troubled teen Chloe raps at the door one night, she has no idea the horror she's about to unleash. Fleeing to the country home of her estranged mother, a recovering addict who's turned her life around to become a famous artist, Chloe must learn to trust the woman who gave her up years ago in order to stop the bloodthirsty, shape-shifting demon stalking them. This wild supernatural shocker delivers a barrage of non-stop jolts and searing nightmare images. That's sort of true. It was good. Like, I'll give it that. It was pretty good. I'll probably instantly give it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Pretty much says what it is. The woman, the main woman, the kid's mom ends up unleashing some sort of demon upon the world, and she has to figure out how to stop it and how to transfer it onto someone else. There's your typical kind of like mystery to solve, the origin of the demon and whatnot. It kind of reminds me of oh my god, I can't think of it at the moment. It's that fucking movie where it has like the screaming mouth, the screaming eyes, and like that One Last Call or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty good for a supernatural horror film. I would say definitely check it out if you got a few bucks to throw at it, and it's in Walmart. Oculus. No, it's not really like Oculus. I'm trying to think if it's made by anything spectacular. Not really. It's Raven Banner. If you're a fan of Raven Banner films, I guess. It's creepy. The supernatural witch character in this is pretty creepy. There's a twist in here that you definitely don't expect. You think the bad guy, besides, you know, the supernatural creature in it, is someone else, but then it ends up being someone completely different. It's kind of along the lines of like Drag Me to Hell, One Last Call, and god damn it, Mama, I guess, something like that. Like the creature kind of reminds me of Mama a bit. Yeah, if you're into supernatural horror films, give this a shot. It's called Don't Knock Twice. It's pretty cheap at Walmart. I think it's like 14 bucks at most. And once again, 6.5 or 7 out of 10. I'm going to go with 7 out of 10 just because I feel like being generous, and I probably should watch this again. Alright, next is another classic. If you haven't seen this, holy shit, go watch it. We finally got this on DVD. This is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. This is such a good film. Instant 9 out of 10. It's basically Michael J. Fox is accused of being kind of like a hack or a con artist, as it were, but then you kind of see that he's actually in tune with the supernatural world, and there's ghosts that follow him around, and he can talk to them, and he's going from house to house getting the ghosts that, you know, are friends with him to like haunt their place so he can earn a few bucks to exorcise the house and whatnot. And then you kind of find out, oh, well, the reason why he can see these ghosts is because he's had a near-death experience. His car went off the road, and, you know, his wife died in the car crash, and now he's just trying to make a living and fix up his house. But then there is a malevolent spirit that is, you know, going around killing people, and he starts to see like numbers on their heads of how many people are in line to be killed, and he's like, I gotta figure out how to stop it, and he tries to get the help of his supernatural ghost spirit friends to help him stop it. And then this woman here whose husband just recently dies in the film, one of the clients, he tries to exorcise the demons from the house. She ends up following him around and getting involved and trying to help him solve the mystery of his wife's death, and figure out why this like mystery supernatural creature ghost spirit thing is now killing people in town. And it kind of unravels. There's some funny parts in it, there's some really weird parts in it. There's a character in here, there's like an FBI kind of agent, undercover character that's, for some reason, I could see them, like, it should be Jim Carrey playing this character, because some of the things that this character does, is, you can see, is a little bit similar to the way Jim Carrey does certain characteristics, and I guess Ace Ventura or the Cable Guy. Like, if you mix Ace Ventura and the Cable Guy, and you watch this movie and you see the character I'm talking about, the FBI agent, I could definitely see Jim Carrey playing that, but they clearly couldn't get him, or didn't see the reason to get him as that character, but they definitely should have. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Classic album. Love Michael J. Fox. The story in this is great. I didn't see this until like my late 20s, and I definitely wish I had seen this earlier as a kid. So if you have not seen this, go check out The Frighteners. And the last one on here is an After Dark original film, and you know how I love After Dark. This is Scream of the Banshee. This is definitely kind of a B movie. It shocked me that it has Lance Henriksen in it, the guy from Aliens and the Pumpkinhead series. But I guess he's used to doing kind of lower budget, like horror movie or thriller films or sci-fi films. But this was definitely the least quality of all the bunch here. Basically, I'm going to read the back here. A college professor and her students discover an ornate box in the basement of their university. Okay, so the puzzle box from Hellraiser. When they open the artifact, a blood-curdling scream is unleashed. According to Irish lore, is it though, those who hear a banshee scream will die, which is what begins to happen as the creature comes for each of them. Yeah, this kind of weird witch goblin-y looking creature thing comes after them. Somehow kills them. I don't know how half the time. It kind of goes in and out of reality. The effects and dialogue are super cheesy and definitely B-movie style. I'm going to give this probably a 4 out of 10. Once again, being generous. It's the with a higher budget and with better actors and a better script, I think this could have been a pretty decent film. But even then, as like a creature film, it was... I'm probably not going to be watching this again for a long time. If you've got nothing else to watch and you're a fan of the After Dark originals, check it out. But yeah, this is just going to be in my collection for the fact that it's an After Dark original film, and that's about it. It's a shame that Lance Henriksen is in this, and he's like this overweight, weird scientist guy that isn't... I mean, he's integral to the story, but it didn't need Lance Henriksen for that. And I'm pretty sure this chick is Mary from Dumb and Dumber. She's kind of a MILF in it, like a pretty hot older mom. But that's... neither here nor there. I'm just trying to find something good to say about this, but it's hard. Yeah, really a 3.5 out of 10. One of the least good films out of the After Dark series, originals or main series. But yeah, only watch that if you got nothing else to watch, or if you really like the After Dark horror series. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw something new. Hope I inspired you to watch something really, really cool. Maybe you found your new favorite horror movie. I doubt it, but there's some cool stuff in there nonetheless. And if you didn't know about it, I hope I brought your attention to it, so that you can maybe go out and find something you wouldn't have otherwise found. So yeah, that's been 8 horror movies to either watch or avoid. Thanks for watching, guys. For Glory, for the Rebellion, Slammerella out.